That nature that I got, the more I wanted. The more boys that I picked up, the more I wanted. It was like it became a challenge to see a pretty little young boy come in and everybody shooting at him, everybody trying to get him, everybody trying to pull him in. It became a challenge.
Tell me, is it facts or opinions? You be the judge.
Salute to another facts or opinions. You be the judge. You be the judge. So we got this one right here. So everybody's been hearing about the follow-up with Charles Hips, and that Hips hasn't been around. Shout out to the Welcome to Texas podcast. Noel's been saying he's waiting on Hips to give him a call back. Again, we've been all talking about where is the paperwork. Again, I heard, shout out to the Dante show, where Dante was breaking it down as well. And he made some valid points on both sides, right? So again, like I keep saying, I think what it is that no one wants to be labeled a monster. Nobody wants to be labeled a predator. So I think that's why it's a lot of this back and forth, and there's a lot of loopholes. One of the loopholes that I wanted to ask, whether it be Welcome to Texas podcast or to the Dante show, once again, is in that first clip you saw starting the intro where Mark said something about it became a challenge for him for these boys. Okay, again, I understand if we're going to play off the script part. Now, Dante brought up Hips paperwork, as far as all his forgery, him being fraudulent, him doing all that, landed him, I guess, into a felony. Because again, one of the things Noel said, well, that's two different things. But in the documentary, they also brought up that's what originally got him in prison and him doing the things. Now, one of the things in this video, I'm going to play this clip to shout out to the person who sent this to me. They showed me that not only was Hips in there, and Dante said it, where he also said he had some boys too, but also he was a prison wife. Now, that's what threw me off. Wait a minute. So Hips was a prison wife to Mark. That's why this stuff is confusing, where Hips is getting very tied in emotionally with it. And like Dante said, not showing the paperwork if he lives with his mom. And that's what I've been saying. If he can get it from his mom, why is it taking so long? So let's watch this video. And I want to hear what y'all response and y'all comments is about this.
Forger. He began as a prison wife.
It's really not just a sex thing. It's about having a companion, somebody that you know is your friend.
I got Hips through a partner of mine. Hips went to the street and come back to prison. When he got to the camp, he owed out like $300-400 worth of shit. When he first got there, from before when he was in prison.
And we were business partners. Okay, when I left and he left, we met up again here at Limestone in 2000. Okay, and it was the same scenario. Mark had a boy, David Mendenhall, okay, and I run tattoos, run a store, and hustled, all right? So me and Mark started running a store again together, hustling, trying to make more money and more money and more money and more money, and before you know it, I ended up with 2 boys, and he ended up with 2 boys, and we called it a family. And when he wasn't around, I watched all of them, and when I wasn't around, he watched all of them.
So I'm trying to understand this part. So number one is, what do they mean, Hips, you was a prison wife? They brought up the forgery thing, but they call you a prison wife. So what do they mean when they said you was a prison wife? Then you said we were all a big family. You said Mark had Mindy or Mendenhall, and then he turned around and he got him another boy, whomever it was. That's why it's making sense to me about how you're standing around and you're seeing all this going on. Instead of people just coming out and just saying what's really going on, a lot of dodging. It's a lot of dancing, bro. Because I'm trying to understand what does they mean by that. Because again, I know what it means. You can't have a prison wife. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. So let's hear it one more time. I'm going to play it one more time. Maybe I missed something. So let's hear it one more time.
A forger. He began as a prison wife.
It's really not just a sex thing. It's about having a companion, somebody that you know is your.
So if it's not about a sex thing, Mark, you said you didn't indulge in none of that. You didn't engage in none of the sexual part, but you was a prison wife.
Friend.
I got Hips through a partner of mine. Hips went to the street and come back to prison. When he got to the camp, he owed out like $300-400 worth of shit. When he first got there, from before when he was in prison.
And we were business partners. Okay, when I left and he left, we met up again here at Limestone in 2000. Okay, and it was the same scenario. Mark had a boy, David Mendenhall, okay, and I run tattoos, run a store, and hustled, all right? So me and Mark started running the store again together, hustling, trying to make more money and more money and more money and more money, and before you know it, I ended up with 2 boys, and he ended up with 2 boys, and we called it a family, and when he wasn't around, I watched all of them, and when I wasn't around, he watched all of them.
Yeah, you're not making sense, Hips. You're not making sense, bro. You said it started off with the store, but then it went from, because Mark said you owed money. So it started with a store. Y'all started making money. Then y'all started having your own family. And again, you was a prison wife. Can somebody please ask Hips, what position does the prison wife play? Because, I mean, is the wife is the same out here as it is behind the bars? Because none of this is making sense, man. You know, is this that he just upset and scorned? Because he said something about victims. So how is it that Mark also was creating these people to be victims, but you weren't? You had 2 boys as well. Man, you got to make it make sense, man. And again, some of this stuff is not adding up. I don't think he want to tell the whole truth. I don't know if both of them don't want to tell the whole truth, but it's not lining up. Somebody help me out. Make sure y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Man, prison wife? I'm not understanding that. Help me out, y'all. Comment, please.
Tell me, is it facts or opinions? You be the judge.